It's Thursday, the 2nd of April 2020, and that can mean one thing, and one thing only, that it's time for today's The Quiz. With me, it's your host, Edward C. Lewis. And of course, as always, the ever-splendid, the ever-wonderful, the ever-transcendent. What else can you be? Can you think of any more adjectives to describe yourself, WNL? Because I can't think of any. No polite ones, anyway.
Green clad.
The evergreen clad. Evergreen clad. Does that mean that you're always wearing green, or evergreen? I don't know.
Or fir trees. I occasionally adorn myself with fir trees. Yes.
Evergreen, wearing always in the fir trees. Look at this. Look at this outfit today. My jumper sleeves poking through. I don't think they did this. I think this is a new look. You can't see it, unfortunately, on your screen, but I've got rolled up sleeves, and then poking through those rolled up sleeves, I've got my jumper on underneath, and I think it's a new style. And everyone should start wearing that. Good to see everybody. I don't know. I'm so stylish. Looking smooth, Ed, says Osric42. Does Ed only have one jacket? He's been wearing the same one for 2 weeks. This is for your benefit, Shan. I'm wearing this for you. This thing stinks. This thing needs a deep wash right now. No, I'm joking. It doesn't really, of course. It's been washed regularly. And it's only worn for this half an hour while we do these streams anyway. Phoenix says the 80s called. They want their Miami Beach jacket back. Spooky a lot says hi. Oh, I don't know if you've noticed, WNL, but there's Commander Benkai in the chat. Commander Nexus. Commander Benkai. So many commanders. They're having a discussion about whether or not I should be wearing trousers or not. I am wearing trousers. We have Osric. Shan, Phoenix Fire. I saw Barrett Rockstar in there. I saw Jack Little. All I can say is that all of the best ones are here. So thank you for joining me here today for the stream for the quiz. How was the hangover after celebrating yesterday's victory? Says Jester D. I am a very sensible young man. I went to bed at 10:30 with a glass of water by my bed, and I don't really drink, so I feel pretty good. Thanks for asking. It's at Wintermeat, so it's a costume for streaming. I mean, you could call it a costume for streaming. I've only ever really worn this once, and it was for a Stranger Things Secret Cinema, which was amazing, by the way. And I wore this and a green. There's a picture of it online. I recommend you check it. Hey, Crash Landing, good to see you and all your box. Hi, hope you're both safe and you're well. I can speak for myself and certainly say that I'm very safe and very well. What about you, WNL?
Yeah, well and safe. Yes, likewise.
This is the worst, isn't it? I need to maybe I'll roll these down. It's like a double roll. No one's ever done a double. I don't think anyone's ever done a. So before we begin, first of all, you were about to tell me an anecdote, and it might take a little bit of setting up, but you were about to tell me an anecdote, and it sounded so fun that I didn't want to.
It was just like,
save it. Let's talk about this.
I was entertaining myself before we went on by looking at the recommended channels down the side, and there was one called Mispronunciation.
Very good.
MISSPRONOUNCIATION. Anyway, Mispronunciation. And it automatically brought me back to my days when I was teaching at a local high school here in the Northwest, one that you attended, and a teacher burst through the door of the English office. I was in the English office because, well, I was head of English. And I'm sitting there, and several other English teachers are there. And he says, we've got a problem. And I said, well, what is it? He said, we have an Italian foreign exchange student here who's going to be doing some teaching with us, but they need some help. And I said, well, what is it? He said, well, it's all about language. And I said, well, what aspect? And he said, you've got to teach them pronunciation. And I thought, well, guess which department he was from.
Who the Oh, do you mean you've got to be very careful here, Mr. Lewis. You've got to be very careful. And for those who aren't English native speakers, and I'm sure you probably know this anyway, so this is maybe slightly patronising, but of course it's
pronunciation as opposed to
rather than pronunciation, yeah. Right?
It's the fact is, yeah.
It's no their department. Mr. Riley, you're talking about, right? Mr.
Yes.
Riley was a PE teacher right?
Could have been in PR. Yeah.
But Mr. Riley was a PR man, that's for sure. This is the same man who he would go, "Where are your rugby shorts?" That's what "Where are your rugby shorts, Lewis?" And he'd come in, and we have these tiny little rugby shorts, and then he'd give you like, I remember some strange things about Mr. Riley, but I won't go into too many details about them today because it's a kind of, he made the papers, didn't he? That's all I'll say. And maybe that's the story.
He made the papers. Didn't you break his glasses at one point?
I did. I headbutted him in the face. He broke his glasses
on the pitch, not in the locker room.
It was we were playing cricket, quick cricket, and I was sprinting to get some runs or whatever you call them. I had the runs, and I was doing the runs, and as I was sprinting, I kind of put my head down a bit like this, and he. By the way, that's my. Does it look realistic? Just add some motion blur and sort of shake the camera around. I was sprinting, and I had my head down, and he was standing at the kind of. He was like he was almost blocking me deliberately, and I can't tell you now because this was a good 20 years ago. If it was deliberate or not of me subconsciously, but I did not like this man, and I hated him. By the way, anyway, I headbutted him. So I was running at full speed, and I ran into his face, and I kind of like that, and just staggered back, and I was like holding my head like this, and I looked up, and there was, and I could just see the windows of the school, right? And there were just classes going like that. Look at the window, just laughing. Like some of them were laughing and some of them were just going like that. And I was like,
because he couldn't see the windows. In fact, he was virtually eyeless.
Well, because he'd taken his glasses off. But it was full of school classes all watching through the window. All of them had seen what had happened, and basically I'd run into him, and I turned around, and the reason why that they were so shocked is because he was lying face down on the floor completely still after I had headbutted the guy, and he was on the floor and his glasses were broken to the side, and I was looking at him like, oh, and I kind of came around a bit because it hurt me too, and I ran over to him and I was like, "Oh, you all right, sir?" Kind of very nervous and very sort of 12 years old at the time, kind of scared, and I said to him, "Oh, I'm sorry. And he got up and he was like, "Oh, you broke." Whereas at least, he came and found me later on. He was like, "Right, class is over, lads, class is over." And we all were like, "Oh, okay." So we all kind of went back in. Didn't kill him, luckily. And class is over. And then later on he came up to me, and I can't do the accent very well, unfortunately, but he was just like, "Oh, I've got a great insurance payout on those glasses. So thanks, I got a brand new pair of glasses, Ed." And I was like, okay. A few weeks later, we were playing basketball. This was stunning. He was so angry in a lesson, and we were all told to sit down whilst he was playing basketball because we weren't behaving. And he was showing us off some basketball shots, and a ball got stuck in the net in between the backboard and the net. And he starts getting a basketball and starts throwing the guy. Right, Jester D says, "How did Ed reach his height? Did he jump?" Thanks, Jester D. Thank you. Spookily a lot. No, I didn't kill him. Yeah, Commander Venkai, he was. I'm the Sherlock and he was the Moriarty, certainly, although I'm not sure he was intelligent enough for that, to be completely clear. Anyway, he was trying to get the ball down by throwing another basketball at it, and all of us are sitting there in fear. We're 11 years old, 12 years old at the time, like this, kind of so terrified of this man, because he was very angry for some reason, and he threw the ball, and it bounced back into his own face and smashed his glasses. And again, on the floor, stunned 12-year-olds, no idea what to do for this poor man who had just knocked himself to the ground. And again, stands up and he's like, "Oh, lads, end of the class, lads, end of the class." And we all have to just go and sit in the changing rooms going, like, does he need help? Oh boy, that man. That man, he then, one last, and then I'm sorry, we'll move on from the anecdotes. He didn't hit himself in the face on this one, but he kind of did in some ways because he ended up in court. But so metaphorically, definitely punched himself in the face a few times. But my band performed, we were called Shotgun Highway, right? My band of my friends who I still see regularly. We're a classic rock covers band, and we performed at the Year 11 Leavers Do. We performed sixth form actually. I was 7. I was even 18 by then. Oh God! And we performed "Living on a Prayer," and so there's me jumping around the stage going, "You'll give it a shot," and like getting the crowd to sing and stuff. And basically, by crowd I mean our sixth form class sitting down in an assembly hall, just staring at us like this while I'm trying to like Bon Jovi around the stage like some cringy, awful person. And then. And Ed reminisces about Shotgun Highway. Yeah, honestly, this is the. I'm so sorry. We are going to do a quiz at some point today, and anyway, after that, he came to me, and this is my lasting memory of Mr. Riley. I'm sure we could be sued for saying these things. And he said to me, Ed, this is the last thing he ever said to me. He said, and this is actually a really nice story. He said, Ed, you're a born performer. That's what you should go on to do. And then he walked off, and weirdly, these years of kind of strange, begrudging relationship that I had with this man, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, it stuck with me in a weird way. And then later on, some weird stuff came out. Anyway, about that, it's fascinating.
Shall we say, and as a former teacher, there are teachers in your head now, and everyone out there has teachers in their head from when they were in high school, when they were in primary school, and you're never going to escape them. They'll be there, either their faces, their actions, some of the things they said or did. Tough. You're stuck with them.
Oh, anyway, I'm sorry. Thank you for listening to Storytime with Ed there. I enjoyed myself. That was a good 10 minutes. I hope you're still having a nice time. I hope you all haven't left, because we actually are going to get around to doing
Shall we do a quiz?
Hopefully Mr. Riley isn't watching. If you are, hi, Andy Riley.
Hello.
I've just doxed him even further. This is terrible. Okay, yeah. WNL, hello.
Yes.
We're here mainly to do a quiz. What are the quiz
It's a quiz.
rules? How do we do it?
It's a quiz. Well, yesterday we decided that the topic is going to be concerned with rainbows, okay, and the colors of the rainbow. So I have 10 questions, and of course you'll turn off your access to the chat stream. I'll be able to see the chatters' comments and answers, and when I ask a question, I'll take their first 3. If we have consensus, well, that's their answer. If we don't have consensus, it'll just be the first answer that I get from them. Once I have their answer, I'll ask you for yours, and then we just calibrate. We'll finely tune the scores and see who wins today's quiz.
Fantastic. I'm very much looking forward to continuing, of course, my winning streak of 1. So far, we have done 8 quizzes. Is that right?
7 or 8, yes.
7. I think 8. Today's the 8th and tomorrow's the 9th.
7.
Yeah.
Today's the 8th. Yes, correct.
We shouldn't try and keep up with this, but all I know is that I've won 1 and lost 6. So this is the 8th quiz, and let's see if I can continue that 100% thing. Also, we've got some really good reflections in the chat, and I do welcome these sorts of things. Spooky a Lot says, "Hi Ed, my real name isn't Spooky, and I was a PE teacher." So I think Spooky a Lot's trying to claim to be my ex-PE teacher there. And Edelweiss says, "I remember my primary 4 teacher, I hated her, and then I moved schools only to find out that she was my primary 5 teacher too." Ironically enough, even though we didn't get on, she was actually one of the best teachers I ever had. And I think that goes to show that there's the strangest relationships that you have with your teachers during these sort of strange formative years. How peculiar. Anyway, what's today's quiz all about?
It is rainbows. As I say, the first 7 questions are going to be concerned with the 7 colors of the rainbow, okay? But I'm not going to tell you in which order. It's not going to be conventionally, it won't be Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet in that order. But those, well, it'll concern itself with those. Then the final 3 questions will just be concerned more with rainbows in general. Okay?
Great.
And again, no cheating or anything like that. No Googling. It has to all come within your minds, okay?
As we've said many times before.
Ed pegged down something like 40-1, so hey, today, give him a good trouncing, okay? Because he was far too, as you say, smug with yesterday's victory.
I was quite smug. I had a few comments from some of my friends telling me how smug I was. Bed Rockstar says blue. Did I get it right?
Sorry, what?
Barrett Rockstar says blue. Did I get it right? I don't.
You're starting.
There's no questions yet. Are you starting? You haven't had a question
yet?
No
questions yet.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
I was worried that I'd been.
Before we start today, I do have a fact for the day, and I want to get it out here because it's an important fact. It's all about cheese. Ooh. Okay. And I love cheese.
I don't eat cheese.
Well, at the end of last year, international experts at the World Cheese Awards awarded the title of World's Best Cheese to a blue cheese from which country? Before you guess, though, let me tell you that an outraged French newspaper actually called the result a sacrilege.
Did they really? I'm glad that they're talking about the important things. The French media. I'm really glad they're focusing on the hard. I can't answer this question. It's the fact of the day. I'm not geared. I'm not ready for questions yet.
The fact is, it was the United States of America.
That actually is sacrilege, though. I don't eat cheese, and I think cheese is revolting.
Beautiful Rogue River blue cheese from Oregon. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Britain, some place down in I don't know where, down south. Us Northerners, anything south of Watford Gap. But yeah, it came forth.
Oh,
so
blue cheese.
There are a variety of different blue cheeses.
Look, I don't want to try it. I don't want to alienate the audience by saying it, but blue cheese, man. Barrett did get it in the end. Blue cheese. There you go.
It's wonderful. The dead carcass
right.
of milk. I love cheese. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay, here we go. Question number 1 in today's quiz. All about rainbows. Question number 1.
I'm closing the chat now. Look after each other. Give each other little gentle shoulder rubs. But I'm talking about metaphorical shoulder rubs. Be nice to each other. Choose somebody in the chat and pay them a compliment. And I will be back at the end in about 13 minutes' time to say hello again. Goodbye.
Okay, and here we go. And remember, the first 7 are concerned with, well, either the color itself or with that color. Question number 1. Start you off easy. Someone is said to be this color when filled with envy. Someone is said to be this color when filled with envy.
I'm taking the streams very seriously now. Look how much hair I've got going on, by the way. Everyone at home is very, very poofy.
You're trying to distract them. I have their answer. What's yours?
Green with envy.
Green with envy, yes. The green eyes of the little yellow god. Absolutely correct. Okay, and they got it as well, so it's 1 apiece. Nobody behind yet. Nobody ahead. Question number 2.
We're all ahead. All of us. We're all winners.
Well, certainly yes. You've gone beyond 0. Question number 2. This novel by Anthony Burgess featured Alex and his Droogs, and it was made into a film in 1971 by Stanley Kubrick. A novel by Anthony Burgess. I think the novel was about 62 or 65, something like that. Featuring Alex and his Droogs, made into a film in 1971 by Stanley Kubrick. I have their answer.
A Clockwork Orange.
A Clockwork Orange, absolutely correct. And the chatter's got it as well.
Today, by the way. Has
Sorry?
anyone noticed how serious I am today?
Very serious, very serious. I actually have a signed copy of that book by Burgess. He spoke. He spoke at the Lancaster Literature Festival in about 78, something like that. Interesting fellow because his poetics and philosophical sort of ideas about literature come directly almost from James Joyce. But it was quite an interesting talk. Yeah.
On James Joyce's Ulysses, that. Remember you got me a really lovely folio version of it.
Yes.
For Christmas about 6 years ago, which I've never read because that book is absurd.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
It's so hard, though. It's a hard book.
It traces the development of English language. It traces, well, and it keeps it according to, if you look at it, it's really the Odyssey, and it actually does sort of work through section by section, following along.
It's no Harry Potter, though, is it?
Leopold Bloom around Dublin. It's good fun.
No Harry Potter. Persevere. I finally found a use for it, by the way, though. It's a really lovely big tome. It's currently in the fridge, pressing my tofu. Because you've got to press tofu for a while to make it taste good before you put it in.
This is true.
Yeah.
A tofu presser. Actually, he would probably be pleased with that.
So. I'd love it if he was pleased with that. Oh, I'm glad James Joyce is pleased with my tofu press. This is absolutely true, by the way.
Unfortunately, I think it probably is. Okay, are you ready? It's 2 points apiece. It's question number 3. What is the distinctive color on the top of a goldfinch's head? What is the distinctive color on the top of a goldfinch's head? I'm waiting with bated mind here.
I got you. I got your answer for you. I got your answer for you.
I have their answer. What's yours?
Red.
Are you sure it's not yellow? I mean, it's a goldfinch.
No, you can't fool me.
You're absolutely right. It is red. They're beautiful birds. We have 4 or 5 that come onto our feeders out of the back. And, well, hey, I just have to freeze and watch them for as long as that. And they take their time when they eat. They love Niger seeds. But they sit there and they just, they have a good look around, then have another bite. But they are beautiful. And the answer is red. Chatters, hey, they got it right as well.
You are often talking about how the birds like your fatty balls, aren't you?
Fat balls, yes. And I've got some squares of fat out there as well. Okay, it's 3 points apiece. This looks like it's going to be a very close one today.
Yeah.
I did have an alternative question for that one. I'll try it out on you. I've never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight, is the opening line of which UK #1 hit. Now, this is an alternative. It doesn't actually count. It was a UK #1. I've never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight.
Lady in Red. Chris Rea.
Yeah. Which in one poll a couple of years ago, it was voted the 8th worst love song ever.
Yeah, it's really quite creepy.
If you listen to it, you think, but you can't get it out of your mind.
It's a really lovely melody. The melody is excellent. Da 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 is dancing with me cheek to cheek, but like he's kind of pervy, and he's a bit like he's kind of saying you don't usually look great, but tonight you look really good, and it's like, how dare you? You should say that this woman's beautiful every day, not just tonight when she's made an effort. Creepy Chris Rea. I wonder what you look like. I bet you wouldn't look great in a red dress. I bet you don't put any effort in because you're a man of that period, of that era of time where you feel like everyone things should be given to you on a plate. But turns out, Chris Rea, that you ain't a pretty pickings yourself. I don't even know what he looks like. That's how little I care about Chris Rea. You started this by reading question 3.5 out. Let's get to question 4 proper.
Question 4. Question number 4. Here we go. And it's tied at 3 points apiece. Number 4. The code name used by the UK Treasury for contingency...
Is it Chris de Burgh? It might be Chris de Burgh.
It was Chris de Burgh.
Oh, it's like Chris Rea. I'm so sorry, everybody.
That's okay. We were all on a highway with Chris de Burgh.
Sorry.
The code name used by the UK Treasury for contingency planning for a possible no-deal Brexit was named after a bird, Emberiza citronella, in the bunting family. It was called Operation... what? Name of the bird. The code name used by the UK Treasury for contingency planning for a possible no-deal Brexit was named after a bird, Emberiza citronella, in the bunting family. Operation what?
I don't know what most of those words mean. Don't read it again, it's fine, but...
Secret report. They refused to publish it. It had to be leaked. It was the one that Corbyn sort of held up and shouted at him with and all that sort of thing. Because they sort of figured that, well, maybe Brexit wasn't going to be quite as easy as they sort of figured. Yeah. Anyway, and it was called Operation, and I have their answer.
I think it was Operation Duckling. I actually don't know, so I'm just going to have to guess. I don't know it.
Operation Duckling. Now that would be one of the 7 colors of the rainbow, would it?
Oh, good point. I don't know. Oh, blue tit. Blue jay. Blue tit. Blue
tit or blue jay. So if it's either one of those, we can at least give you a half a point.
Blue jay.
For the blue.
Blue jay.
Blue jay.
Yeah.
Blue jay.
Yeah.
You were up a cul-de-sac anyway. It was Yellowhammer.
Ah.
Operation Yellowhammer.
Yeah, they're not going to call it blue tit, are they?
No, they aren't.
Yeah.
You are now 1 point behind. They got it. Although Jackhammer was thrown in there as well, but it was Yellowhammer, yes.
Well done.
4 points to 3.
Well done.
The Chatters are in the lead.
Well done, Chaz.
Right.
Well done.
Okay. We're on to question number 5, halfway through today's quiz. Listen very carefully. Along with Charlie Bucket, 4 other children were invited to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Their surnames were Gloop, Beauregard, Salt, and TV. Which one was Violet's surname? Okay, the answer is in the question here, the color, but yes, we have to answer a question. The Charlie Bucket, in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, 4 other children were invited to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Surnames Gloop, Beauregard, Salt, and TV. Okay, and the answer is, well, the question is, which one was Violet's surname?
You've got to have their answer.
I have their answer, yes.
Augustus Gloop, Mike TV, it's not Veruca Salt, that would be absurd. Is it? And, it wouldn't be absurd. It's Roald Dahl, who is incredible, by the way. I absolutely love Roald Dahl. I went to see the Matilda musical recently, and I cannot recommend it more. This episode sponsored by Matilda the musical. Don't go and watch it now, though. It's not on. And
I've been waiting 4 hours.
Violet Beauregard.
Violet Beauregard, yes, yeah. Do you remember how she is actually treated? What happens to her in the film?
Does she balloon up and get rolled out as a big? She becomes a blueberry or a snosberry. Snosberries. I hate snosberries.
It actually is a blueberry.
Oh, is it?
You're right. She says, "I'm an expert on a world champion on chewing gum," and he says, "Don't try it. It's not ready. Do not try it." But she takes the blueberry gum, has some, and they have to take her to the juicing room. Yes.
All right. Next question,
okay.
Please.
Hey, they got it right as well. It's 4 points to the Chatters 5. At the halfway stage, you're 1 point behind. On to question number 6. We're still in the colors of the rainbow, so if you can think of the ones that we've already treated, the next 2 are the final 2. Question number 6. Which color of the rainbow has the second shortest wavelength?
Oh, this is a good question.
Which color of the rainbow has the second shortest wavelength?
I reckon that my lovely nerds in the chat are going to get this, and I don't know the answer to it, unfortunately. So I'm going to.
Your lovely nerds in the chat stream have already got it. We have an answer. What's yours?
What? So Roy G. Biv, right?
Yes.
So the is the last one, and if you're going by like literally where it appears in the rainbow, and it's actually the shortest. Then Violet, perhaps.
I said the second shortest.
Oh. Indigo.
Indigo is correct, yes. It's the second shortest wavelength. And
so is it literally to do where it is in the rainbow?
Yes. Yeah, that's why it appears there.
Great.
We have red, or the red is the longest wavelength.
Is mad, isn't it?
Violet is the shortest, and indigo is the second. So very well done. The chatters were pretty quick with it. You weren't bad yourself, Edward. You're still behind 6 points to 5, and it's question number 7. Number 7. In Roger Hargreaves' Mr. Men series of books, Mr. Daydream, Mr. Bump, and Mr. Grumpy are all this color.
Ooh.
In Roger Hargreaves' Mr. Men series of books, Mr. Daydream, Mr. Bump, and Mr. Grumpy are all this color.
These are all just descriptions of me, aren't they? You just pick the ones out. Mr. Daydream, certainly. Mr. Grumpy sometimes, and Mr. Bump often. Well, after what we talked about today, it might actually be more akin to my ex-PE teacher.
Mr. Bump into, yeah.
Yeah, he was Mr. Grumpy at times. Have you got their answer?
I have their answer.
Mr. Bump was my favourite. He's blue, if I remember rightly.
He is absolutely blue, yes. Right, well, hey, well done, and they got it too. So going into the final 3 questions, it is a 1-point lead for the chatters. 7 points to 6.
Great. This is good, though. This is good.
Are you ready for question 8?
Yes, I'm always ready for question 8.
Okay, a burning rainbow bridge that reaches between Midgard and Asgard features in which mythology? A burning rainbow bridge. I think the bridge's name is actually Bifrost.
It is, yes.
Oh, it is it? Well, hold on. I have their answer. Yes.
Norse mythology.
Norse mythology is absolutely correct. Yes.
I think mainly people will know this because of the most recent Marvel movies of Thor, though. But I think that's certainly where I.
Am I allowed? Am I allowed to admit that I have never seen one of them because I collected Marvel comic books when I was a kid and read them, and I have a collection of a couple hundred from the 1960s, and I didn't want to spoil what I had in my head by watching the film.
I think that's very reasonable of you. But you have added it to the list of films that we're going to watch together on our film watching marathon when we watch Sound of Music, and then now we're going to watch the Marvel movies in chronological order, not of when they came out, but the actual chronology of the first 10 years that they did. Which by the way,
you've got to remember that I'm a lot older than you. I'll never make it through all of those. You know,
it's only 42 hours of movies is what it is.
Oh, 42 hours. We might be able to do this.
I think you've got plenty of time right now.
Possibly. Okay, 8 points to 7. The chatters are ahead. We're coming down to our last 2 questions in today's quiz. Mm-hmm. Okay, chatters, you got him by the throat. Finish him off.
What just happened? Why all of a sudden are they killing me?
Well, no. It's merely keeping you from winning. Okay.
Yeah.
We can be far gentler with our yes.
Don't kick me when I'm down. I've only won one quiz so far.
Yes, but you won the last one. You won the last one, and they have to sort of get back in it.
I just feel no, it's good. I liked it. It just felt it was good. I liked the energy. I just feel a little bit scared now.
Okay. Well, question number 9. Well, who was it? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. Question number 9. Zippy, George, and Bungle were the 3 characters in the children's program Rainbow. Which one was a brown furry bear with a squashed face?
Oh, that's a cute description.
Zippy, George, and Bungle were the 3 characters in the children's program Rainbow. Which one of the 3 was a brown furry bear with a squashed face?
I think that they've all got kind of squashed faces.
But they weren't all brown furry bears.
What's the names again? Give me the names.
Zippy, George, and Bungle. I have an answer.
This is actually, I think, slightly before my time. I think it was like when I was 1 and 2. I think I was too young for it. But I think...
to be honest, it was before your time because it was before my time here in
the UK, right?
in this country.
Yeah,
but I know this as
I know Zippy's the guy with the zip, so it's not him because he's kind of a strange zip creature with like I don't know what he is. Also, kind of has he got a zip on a mouth?
He does.
I think there's something a bit dark about that. Like every now and again he gets locked up and someone puts a padlock on his mouth. You can't talk, Zippy.
As Commander Nexus says, a bit of a psychopath. Yeah, Zippy, Funny, but not to the other characters. But funny to probably the adults watching, yeah.
Okay. So it's between Bungle and the other guy.
George.
I like the name George, so I'm going to go with George.
You're going to go with George?
Yeah.
You should have gone with Bungle. Bungle the bear.
Which one was George?
Zippy would often call him Bungle Bonds.
Right.
Bungle Bonds. George was the other one. Yeah.
The other one? What's this? Yeah.
That's a puppet, and it's sort of covered over with someone give me a good description. Edward's not watching. Pink hippopotamus. That's right.
Oh, yeah, of course he was. Yeah. Was he quite camp?
A touch. A touch camp. Yes. Yeah.
I think they all were a bit, weren't they? It's good fun. It's very good fun.
A variety of different personalities. Yeah. Let's put it that way. Okay, going into today's last question. The chatters are uncatchable. They're ahead 9 points to 7, but you could draw one back. It's still nice and close. This one for the Gipper, as they said for, I think it was Newt Rockney, the American football coach. Here we go. Last question today.
This will be, first of all, that was an obscure reference. Second of all, and by the way, that's not me saying don't do obscure references. Keep the obscure references coming because they're a lot of fun. Is this the first time they're going to get 10 out of 10?
In this series, I think it is, yes. They almost made it yesterday, except that we had to throw that one question away because
No,
a Jaffa cake is a
I
cake.
got 10 out of 10 for that round.
Oh, sorry. You would have got 10 out of
It's
10.
just
You
that
got
Jaffa
9.
cakes do not count.
It was 9.8. Yeah, we threw that question out. It just did not count.
All right.
Okay. Anyway,
Final
question number 10. Here we go. Simple 50-50. It's a true or false question. So if you agree with what I say, write down the entire word true. If you disagree, write down the entire word false. Here's your statement. Rainbows are actually full circles. True or false? Rainbows are actually full circles. Maybe isn't allowed. That wasn't one of your. I have their answer.
That counts as one of their first answers. True.
True. Most people only ever see an arc or a semicircle because, well, you're standing on the ground and the other half is cut off by the horizon. Yes, it is absolutely true. They are full circles. We only see portions of them depending on, well, how much, atmosphere. We're talking about reflection and refraction to give us those colors and the position. And yeah, full circles. You got it right. Well done. And so did the chatters.
I don't think I've had one yet where it's been really bad. So I think 2 days ago I was quite bad. What was that one on? I couldn't even think that day.
Oh, what was it? Was it the Animal World? I think.
I got like 5 out of 10 on that one. But this one I got
8 points to 4. The score was 8 points to 4.
Well
yeah.
done, well remembered. I got 8 on this one.
But you got 8, and the chatters a perfect 10.
Well done.
I am not worthy. I am not worthy.
Round of applause for the chatters. Nicely done today. That's great news. Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for the great quiz. As always, I'm going to bring back the crew.
Always my pleasure.
Hello, everybody. It has been amazing each and every quiz, says Commander Benkai. Well done, everyone, says Osric42. The Honey Thief says, what if they look at a photo of a rainbow?
Oh, wow. How about a rainbow in a mirror?
Jack Little is sad about no double rainbow questions. Commander
all rainbows, I think, are actually double rainbows. It's just that the intensity, you can't see it.
I'd be interested to
check that out. I think that all rainbows are double rainbows.
Yeah, we have Zach Antonacci in the chat as well, who says Edward, which I can imagine him doing. You're looking very smart. Thank you very much. This is what I'm dressing up for everybody every day. You see, this is what I'm trying to do is try to make people happy. Wayward Cloud says flat earthers only see a straight line. That's very good. Commander Benkai says that Zippy became a PE teacher after Rainbow. Singer Rainbow from Commander Nexus. It's good to see everybody here. Millstone Barnes says Google isn't allowed until after the stream. Yes, now you're allowed to stream everybody and Google things as much as you want. Good to see Fiery Toad here as well. There's a load of good peeps here. Again, like I've always said many times before, all of the best ones are here. So thank you everybody for coming along. We've got the final day of the week tomorrow. Final day of the working week, of course. So we'll be back tomorrow at the same time, midday, for another quiz. We, of course, have to decide what the quiz topic is going to be on.
I have a suggestion for tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday.
Okay. Fish
and chips.
I'm not going to ask any further questions. But I think
I'll ask them tomorrow. 10 tomorrow.
Yes. Fish and chips. All right, so we've got Shelby Snitesy says, "Oh, you can't believe what a blessing intelligent conversation is whilst isolating." Well, I'm afraid you won't find any intelligent conversation here, but we will do our very, very best to at least entertain you. How dunkable is the fish? Fish and chips. All right. Well, Commander Paradox says, "I'm hungry already." Commander Nexus says, "Thanks, guys." Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to a quiz all about fish and chips. But if anybody can make that interesting, WNL, it's you. So thank you again. And please do put a round of applause and a thank you in the chat for WNL for putting these quizzes together for us. Literally thousands of questions. You're like the quizzing jukebox, which is kind of amazing.
Give it a nudge occasionally, yeah.
Have a lovely evening, and we will see you all tomorrow at midday again. And remember, before we do leave, that 1, you are the best ones, and 2, this screen that I'm about to show up, I haven't edited it yet, so it might say starting soon on the screen, but I just want to let you know that it's not starting soon, and actually it's ending, just in case you get confused, because I haven't updated the screen yet. So sorry about that. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye.